9. Drew Alexander Brooks. 22-year-old Drew Alexander Brooks first appeared in media back in 2019 when he starred on the reality show Teen Mom Young and Pregnant. He recently made headlines for a much different reason though, after allegedly stabbing another man in the stomach in Monroe County, Tennessee. Deputies learned of the incident when they were called to a local hospital, where the injured man, Cody Mason, was waiting to be taken to another medical facility. His account of being attacked outside his home reportedly matched up with what 2 other witnesses at the scene told deputies, who found a medium-sized bloodstain on a dirt road where the stabbing went down. Law enforcement declined to go into detail about the exact nature of how the fight started, but they charged Brooks with attempted murder. He was taken into custody and held without bond as he waited to see a judge in court. This is the latest case in a string of recent crimes that Brooks has faced in recent years, dating back to 2018 when he was charged with theft. 2 years later, in 2020, Brooks was arrested for violating the terms of his patrol, as well as criminal impersonation and 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. A month before his most recent charge, he was arrested for unlawful carrying or possession of a weapon, but this case was dismissed due to a lack of witnesses. So, as you can see, he's a repeat offender. 8. Charlene Thompson. In late 2018, a 61-year-old Cincinnati resident named Charlene Thompson poured hot grease on another woman during a disagreement. Court documents claim she then held the victim at knife point before making her leave. The victim suffered severe burns to her back and arm and was hospitalized to get treatment. In the meantime, police charged Thompson with assault. At the time, she had 2 outstanding warrants from previous incidents and already had a lengthy criminal record that included several assault cases, arson, theft, and menacing. She was a wanted woman. During her arraignment, her defense attorney said she had mental health issues and was receiving treatment for paranoid schizophrenia. Neighbors backed up this claim, with one resident from her apartment complex telling a local news station Thompson was a good woman, but had probably stopped taking her medication and flipped out because of it. They also said this wasn't the first time Thompson tried pouring hot grease on someone after an argument, and she had tried to do so about a year earlier. A friend of the woman cited the situation as an example of the suspect's need for better sustained treatment. The judge initially held Thompson on $50,000 bond, but it's unclear how the case turned out in the end. Hopefully, she got the help she needed and has moved on from this incident. 7. Chet Hanks and Kiana Parker. Chet Hanks, the 30-year-old son of world-famous actor Tom Hanks, is no stranger to controversial news headlines. He found himself in the limelight earlier this year after footage of a nasty breakup between him and his ex-girlfriend Kiana Parker went viral online. The disturbing clip captured part of a fight that happened in January at Hanks' home in Sugar Land, Texas. It shows Parker swinging at Hanks with a pot in her hand, at which point his phone is knocked away. He returns to the camera with a bleeding head wound and later claimed Parker caused the injury when she ran at him with a kitchen knife. Parker had a much different version of the story to tell though, which included allegations that Hanks threw a bottle at her, threatened to kill her, and even called her racist names. She said she tried reaching out to his parents Tom and Rita for help before seeking an order of protection. A judge granted the order and temporarily suspended Chet's right to a handgun license. In the meantime, he filed a lawsuit against Parker for the incident, accusing her of assault, battery, and theft. Hanks is now seeking to get back money he claims his ex-girlfriend stole using his credit card and used for rent travel expenses for her and her friends. His attorneys argue that Parker's abuse allegations are completely false, fabricated, and fictional, and are accusing her of showing up at Chet's house with multiple large menacing men, including one who was armed. Parker is countersuing for $1 million and stands by her claims that Hanks routinely mentally and physically abused her during their relationship, in what her attorneys describe as an ever-escalating case of domestic violence. In addition to the fight from the video, the lawsuit lists several other incidents where Hanks supposedly became aggressive and hostile. The outcome of this very public case has yet to be determined. 6. Ayanna Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather found his name in the news for reasons other than his legendary boxing career in 2020, when his daughter, 19-year-old Ayanna Yaya Mayweather, was arrested in connection to the stabbing of a woman in Houston, Texas. Police came to a local residence after emergency responders were called and found the 25-year-old victim's injuries, which they suspected may have been from a violent fight. Luckily, the woman's condition was non-threatening, but she was hurt badly enough to need surgery at the hospital. Anonymous sources told TMZ that Mayweather had shown up at the home of the 20-year-old rapper NBA Youngboy, whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun Golden, to find that the rapper's child mother, LaPatra Lisha Jacobs, was there. Mayweather told Jacobs to leave before rushing at her with 2 knives and stabbing her multiple times in the arm. But the boxer's daughter told police a much different story, claiming Jacobs attacked her and pulled her hair outside the house and then ran inside. They didn't buy the young woman's story and arrested her in connection to the attack. Mayweather's lawyer maintained that she acted in self-defense, but she ultimately pleaded guilty to assault with a deadly weapon earlier this year after working out a deal with the prosecutor. She was sentenced to 6 years of probation, 40 hours of community service, and was restricted from harassing, threatening, or abusive contact with Jacobs. If she stays out of trouble in the meantime, she will avoid a felony conviction and the case will ultimately be dismissed. 5. Hector Campos. 48-year-old Hector Campos and his neighbor Anna Weed got along for years before their friendship turned sour. Things took a turn for the worse in 2016 when Campos tried to cancel a family vacation to Mexico, but his wife insisted on going. She asked Weed to drive her and the couple's baby to the airport, and the neighbor did so without a second thought. It sparked a bitter feud between Weed and Campos, who filed for divorce while his wife and daughter were away on the trip. Several months later, Weed took her dog outside while Campos washed his truck. He confronted her and accused her of knowing where his wife was. Sensing the tension, Weed's dog began barking. Campos kicked the canine and then shot his 53-year-old neighbor to death when she rushed to help her pet. Police charged Campos with murder, despite his allegations saying Weed had shoved and threatened him with a roll of packaging tape. Jurors in both civil and criminal cases rejected the man's self-defense claims, and he received a fitting 45-year prison sentence. 4. Philadelphia tragedy. 3 people died and 11 were injured recently when a mass shooting broke out on a Philadelphia street late one night. Police determined there were multiple shooters and at least 4 guns were involved in the incident. Surveillance footage indicates the deadly attack started when 3 men got into an argument outside a store. In the video, a man named Greg Jackson can be seen firing at Mika Towns, who pulled his gun out and shot back. Jackson was pronounced dead at the scene, but police decided not to press charges against Towns after determining his actions were in self-defense. Both Jackson and Towns were legally permitted to carry as well. A third alleged shooter, Karan Garner, is accused of firing a ghost gun after seeing Jackson get shot, causing a nearby police officer to return fire and shoot him in the hand. He was hospitalized and faces charges of aggravated assault and aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer for firing. Another suspect, 34-year-old Rashawn Vereen, was taken into custody on suspicion of attempted murder and aggravated assault as well. Some residents blamed the deadly ordeal on limited police presence, but Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney claimed there were at least 70 officers in the area when the shooting happened. He reassured the public that he was bringing on more officers with help from the state police, but rejected the idea of declaring an emergency, stating the National Guard is not trained to carry out law enforcement duties in the area. 3. Abigail Roman Aguilar. A 32-year-old immigrant named Abigail Roman Aguilar died in May this year after a run-in with U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents in Arizona near the border. While details of the fatal encounter remain unclear, an autopsy report revealed Aguilar was taken to a hospital after injuring himself on some barbed wire while trying to escape authorities. After being discharged, he got into some sort of altercation with a Border Patrol agent who stabbed him to death. A coroner with the Pima County Medical Examiner's Office listed Aguilar's injuries as 2 stab wounds to the chest, blunt force wounds and lacerations to the head, and contusions to the head and extremities. The report listed the cause of death as sharp force injuries of the trunk and his manner of death as a homicide. An FBI agent stated in an email to The Republic that the Border Patrol agent's name is being withheld during the ongoing investigation into what they described as an assault on a federal officer. Aguilar's death marks the 2nd fatal confrontation this year involving agents' use of force within the Douglas Border Patrol sector's jurisdiction. Even if there was an assault, stabbing a suspect seems like things were taken too far. 2. Mare breaks up Brawl. Imagine getting into a bathroom brawl during a concert and having your town's mayor break up the fight. That's exactly what happened earlier this year, when New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell entered the women's restroom during a rap show and found a woman pounding on the stall door. Shocking footage of the encounter shows the woman putting her hand in Cantrell's face and shoving her, during which the mayor can be heard saying, "Don't touch me." Thankfully, nothing serious came from the incident, except maybe the embarrassment of being captured on video disrespecting a local leader. Cantrell told a local news station that two women got into a fight when one of them hit the other, causing her to lose her glasses. The mayor said she tried to calm down the lady who lost her glasses and asked her not to retaliate. Someone began recording at the peak of the confrontation, when the woman was in a highly emotional and agitated state. She told Cantrell she was going through hard times and had spent the last money she had on her daughter's ticket to the event. Once she calmed down, she sought out the woman she fought with to try and apologize. Rapper Rob49, who was performing that night, posted a video praising Cantrell for her quick-thinking actions, which reflected her compassion and concern for the community. In the clip, she commented she was showing love by intervening and trying to de-escalate the situation. She later said she wished she'd gotten the woman's contact information so that she could offer resources for help with her financial struggles. 1. Imani Cox. In late May, a 27-year-old woman named Imani Cox tried to leave a hospital in Sumter, South Carolina, after being admitted for a court-ordered evaluation. Security guards and other employees tried to stop her from leaving, but she became aggressive and fought back. She struck at least 2 staff members, including 40-year-old mental health technician named Kevin Robinson, who became sick and unresponsive after getting hit in the groin. He died several days later. Sumter police later charged Cox with second-degree assault and battery. The fatal confrontation happened during a concerning uptick in violent encounters at hospitals and medical campuses across the US, including several shootings and stabbings. Just days after the incident involving Miss Cox, a 35-year-old patient stabbed 2 nurses and a doctor in a California hospital after going to get treatment for anxiety. A SWAT team responded to this scene, where the suspect barricaded himself in a room. They charged him with 3 counts of attempted murder after taking him to another hospital for self-inflicted injuries. Registered nurse Jean Meyer, who works as the chief nursing officer at the hospital where the fight involving Cox happened, told Becker's Hospital Review that the company, Prisma Health, is looking into how to balance compassionate care with protecting our team members, patients, and visitors. She went on to explain that Prisma Health trains its employees on how to handle violent situations, and that one of the goals for an ongoing investigation is to figure out ways to prevent a tragedy like this from happening again in the future. Thanks for watching. Would you rather get in a fight defending someone you love and end up breaking your nose, or punch the wrong person in the face and live with the guilt? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.